Welcome to another episode of Queen3 and King. I am your host, King Dog. And I see two of the three queens. One of the queens is out. She's in contract dispute considering the baby last week. So she is having to renegotiate that contract. She's out. She'll be back next week. Today's episode is Acting Black and Talking White. Wow. And you know what we're talking about already. But first, let me introduce my co-hosts. And we'll start with the baby queen today. Lee, Mama Lee, Blake Mama. Talk to the people, Queen.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We ready. That was quick.
Wasn't it? Like she didn't really, it wasn't sincere at all.
Just like his intro was quick. I was still trying to come up.
She really don't care nothing about these viewers.
He got me nervous over here with all these controls.
And next, out of East Garland, Texas, by way of Tulsa, Oklahoma, still in dispute over the title of Queen of Tulsa. We got the educator, Meba. What up, Queen?
Hey, everybody. Let me slow it down. Hey, everybody.
Why do you talk like you've been smoking Cool 50 King since you were 5 years old? All right, we got H-Rap Brian in the building.
Hey, H-Rap.
Queens, King. Then we got BS3, Ben Sutter the third. Hey, King and Queen. He put the BS and BS3. And then we got Miss Charlotte Wilson, the best voice of the End of the Bench podcast, the other educator out of Chicago.
Come on.
We appreciate y'all. So before we get into this topic, I got just something real quick. So this time of year, we always hear about these HOAs fussing about these doggone Christmas decorations.
Baby.
They serious about this shizit. So now that you ladies have moved on up to the top and you are in a HOA situation, have y'all been hearing stuff at y'all HOAs?
I haven't heard personally, but baby, they've been letting them have it in those neighborhood groups.
Right. The Facebook neighborhood groups, they're going to either piss you off or entertain you.
Some days they do both. Because I'm like, who is putting all this all day? It's two people that are infamous for posting every day on my
Every day. Can't have nothing else to do.
We may have to do a show about this because the ones in our neighborhood during the summertime when the black kids at the pool, hey, y'all thought I got me a pool because I wanted one. Hell, I got one just so the black folks have somewhere to go. Yeah, because over here, the black kids, look at here. We're gonna wear cutoff shorts. We ain't got no real swimming trunks. Yeah, leave us alone.
We wearing basketball shorts.
Shorts.
Yeah, they mad about it.
Oh, they mad it.
Yeah, that's his daddy cut off jeans from 73. So what?
Yeah.
The neighborhood group say you better take your orange lights down. It's time to take the orange lights down. That's for Halloween.
Yeah.
Put up the green and clear and your red lights. I said, get out of people's business.
Well, what the problem is that most HOAs, it is against the regulations to have them up before December the 1st.
Yes.
But hey, Karen ain't having that. Karen gonna put up her lights when she wants to put up her lights.
You know what, Tag? I was close to your house. I said they already got their lights.
Oh, look here! I'm a fan of Christmas, right?
I am. Me too.
One of my favorite holidays, right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say this: we go straight from Halloween
to Christmas.
You know, Thanksgiving don't get no love. And look,
we don't say we thankful for a thing.
I don't give a damn about the Pilgrims. I'm not trying to defend them, okay? They wasn't nothing but some thieves and killers, okay? So I'm not saying nothing about them. But doggone, the great pumpkin Charlie Brown deserves something, don't he?
I'm telling you.
Taking down skeletons and putting up
Can we go around and say what we thankful for first?
Yeah, I saw one dude. He didn't even take his skeleton down. He just put Jesus' face on the skeleton. That's how quick he transitioned into.
They serious over here.
All right, what is trying to say? She goes, I haven't heard anything about my Christmas with my HOA. They made me so angry because they just voted that we have to get rid of our grills. HOA appointment, but how you gonna not have a grill? That's not American.
Oh no!
And she thanked me for the best voice, and well, I mean, come on, you got the best voice and on the bill for this network, but you going against people like Brian. I mean, come on, it's not that hard.
Don't do
that. And she did say good evening to everyone. All right, we got Ain't Weed in the house. Hello, my
Ain't
Weed with that sexy.
That's who I need to turn loose on some of these HOA folks.
Okay,
yeah, come on. This who I need to turn loose. Hey, Marita, come over here and tell them what to do.
Hey, family. H-Raps at LMAO. Charlotte says the Dollar Trees here had Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas decorations on sale right after the 4th of July.
They do not wait.
Dang.
The 4th of July, boom, holiday.
All right, we got your Shayla on the line.
Hey, Shayla.
Yeah, she still got that glamour shots. I see. Which filter is that? Is that the F3? I don't know. H-Rap said that's why they can't come to the. Okay, bye. I was on this show last Thursday, and we was arguing about whether we should let Karen and them come not cook out tonight. All right, Charlotte says yes, they want all the dollars.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into this acting black and talking white. Now, this topic also includes acting white, right? You know, so as I kind of did some research for this, it kept coming up. Actually, more than acting black came up,
right?
Acting white came up. Now, think about this. The reason why I think that came up more is because both of them, the talking white and acting white, are negative to us. You have to dig to find something acting black because that's negative toward them. Right, so I had to dig to be able to find something. They're not
acting to be like us.
Okay, so it does include this topic. So I'm gonna start with Mika, and I'm gonna ask you, what is being said when someone is described as acting black? Let's start there.
See, let me just chill out because it's so negative on our start.
Yeah.
I mean, I was trying to read Shayla's when I said start.
Our end.
Shayla said don't start, and I was trying to say on our side. Shayla, tell him not to start. He's extra. But on our side, it's negative because when people say they're acting black, and I'm just being truthful, they're loud. They're not using correct grammar. Hands are flailing in the air. Necks are working, and it's not positive. When I say acting black.
Yeah.
But did you ask me about acting white? Or do I need to
it? Well, you can go ahead. Go ahead. We can attack all of them. So what do they mean when they say talking white and acting white? So you can go ahead and tackle all three of them. And
so when you're acting or talking white, it's proper. And it's not acting white to me, y'all. It's just this language that I use with my brothers and sisters. I'm not gonna say in the office. I'm not gonna act like that in the office. I'm not gonna talk like that in the office. I'm not gonna present myself in a meeting. I'm not going to go to the conference and talk to people when in the same language that I use with my siblings or with my cousins or with my aunties. Not because of respect, it's just because I'm comfortable around them and we're just laughing and talking, and I don't have to be guarded in the way that I'm speaking. So when you're, if you consider talking white, because sometimes I'm not going to answer the phone. So if I hear it, and we laugh, me and Alicia used to laugh about this all the time. If I answer the phone, it's my brother or my sister at work. And my brother did it last week. I said, hey, hello. He said, you can't talk? No, let me walk in my office. I said, what you doing? You just changed your stuff. Yeah. You're confident. Because you just have to watch how you're talking and around people, because it's a perception that you have to put on, I would think.
All right. And Lily, what does it mean to act black, act white, talk white? What do these things mean?
I always think if you always say, oh, look at her acting black, or you see somebody white, Mexican, Hispanic, whatever the case may be, but like, look at her acting black. You expect her to talk hood. She got this type of slang to her. She may be using ebonics, he or she, whatever the case may be. But like Mika said, it's kind of looked at it in a negative light. So it's like, oh, look at her. She talking. Why she acting black? But when you're talking white, you have to know your audience. And you are talking white. Like, this is Nicole.
Oh my God.
When you pick up the phone at work, this is Nicole. But
And
that's
then
just
you say,
knowing.
don't call me back.
Wow.
But that, but that, but that I cannot. But that's
I might as well go and start talking because she is not gonna be able to get it together.
Nigga, do not call me back for a snap.
So let me explain to the viewers what's happening. So we're talking about how you answer the phone at work, and the oldest queen, who's not here to defend herself today, her kids were used
that's
to
what she
call
gets for
her
not being here.
several times a day about snacks. Can I have
Simple.
a
And it
snack?
will be with all of one of us.
Woo!
So she
telling
went
you.
from that proper voice to checking them hard. Don't call me no damn more about no snacks.
Yeah. But she would answer that phone. This is Nicole. But that's just knowing your audience. When people say, and I've had that happen to me before. Even growing up, people said I talked white. Or they thought I was mixed because I acted a certain way or talked a certain way. But it was just when you talk correct, and when you use the correct English or the correct terms, it's talking white.
Right.
As opposed to acting or talking black.
Okay. Yeah. So before I get into some of the comments here, one of the things I like about when we have a topic like this, I stop myself from writing pre-show notes because I know something is going to come up that's going to inspire another thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to generate another thought. That's how you know you're vibrating on the same wavelength, that you got good energy, that there's a connection, right? So for me, whenever I can't remember which one of you said it, but you said, hey, it was Mika, when I'm talking on the phone at work, I'm not going to have the same conversation that I have with my brothers and sisters when I'm not at work or whatever. So what I wrote down is that we are different people in different settings, right? And it is acceptable and it makes sense, right? It goes with the same concept that we wear different hats, right? So I'm a dad, I'm a pawpaw, I'm a business owner, I'm a co-worker, I'm all of these things, right? So I wear different hats at different times. And so we don't just change our grammar, we change our behavior based on the settings, right? Because certain behavior is acceptable in certain settings, right? It's why most people ain't gonna walk in a job smoking a joint. I did have one worker did it one day, but you're not gonna, you're not gonna do that typically, right? We change hats. And so when people are saying acting black, again, it's generally associated with these negative stereotypes that they have put on us, right? That we talk hood or in ebonics, that we got a certain swag that we operate with, and that we, whatever, so when they see a non-black talking in this fashion or acting with this fashion or not plain vanilla like they typically come across, now you're acting black, right? So again, but when we are accused of talking white, it is typically just simply because we have moved from not being more careless with our grammar to being more careful with our grammar. We can do it. In fact, in this conversation, in these podcasts, you will hear us switch back and forth. If I'm making a point that I want to be heard and given some sort of credit to or some credence to, I'm generally going to clean up my vocabulary a little bit. If I'm trying to be funny, I'm going to get a little bit more hood and a little bit more country. That's just the way it is. Now see to some of the comments. We got a couple more people in. Ray to Kev in the building. Say what up, fam?
Hey.
Oh, he's still okay. Kansas City Chiefs. Golden Brooks said, "Hey, lovely people, what's going on?" Hey. Charlotte said, "I find people say I'm talking white if I speak proper English. My daughter says my dialect changes depending on who I'm talking with." What we just
That's
said.
right.
Rita says, if a black person used the correct language, other blacks will say they are talking white. No, baby, she's using the correct language, right? Let's see. Bree Mack in the building.
Hey, Gil.
Yeah.
Ben wasn't on time, so he don't know where Nikki is. We said that she in contract negotiations, man. Ben also says my mom worked voice and check your
Check
what?
you, voice.
What?
Check
What
you,
how she
voice.
checks you?
Check you, voice.
Like,
Oh,
check
gotcha.
you.
Nikki
My
was
mom's
checking
work
Kiki.
voice and her check you voice was different. Okay,
Yes, yes.
gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, Rita says back in the 50s we used the word chunk when we should have said throw. Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that. Brian says no acting white is negative on most fronts. I have an Italian friend. He calls his boys that act white Wonder Bread wops. Okay.
Wow. But you know what that
Italian
is, but you know that is true. So
Mhm.
when you say acting white, that can be looked as negative too from your black audience.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Oh,
Yeah.
most of the time it is.
Yeah.
So when black folks say you're acting white, they think you're acting something other than you are, or something than you're general. They consider it as being fake and not a part of who you are.
But I just think we don't, sometimes, especially if you haven't been, it depends on where you've grown up, who you've grown up with, acting white is perceived as negative. But, with us, we know in certain audiences, you have to be a certain thing and you have to talk in a certain way.
Yep.
And it's not switching up. It's like Ted said, I got to know my audience. I can't go in different. I can't go in there and say, "What's up with y'all today?" They're not gonna receive that. But hi, how are y'all doing? And you going in like that. But it just depends on the audience, and it's not a negative thing.
Yeah. So what's interesting is that in the other communities, right? So the Italian community, the Hispanic community, I have heard Hispanics tell other Hispanics, "You acting white." So they do it too, or they'll call each other, "You're a white Mexican,"
Yeah.
I've heard
And
that
so basically,
before.
they talk about the mentality with which they were raised, or their perception of that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Golden says, yes, they will say you are talking white. H-Rap says, and I know God dang it. A Chinese guy that calls his friends Twinkies, yellow on the outside, white on the inside. Those are their words, not mine. Yeah, we hear that. We in the black community, they call it Oreos or coconuts. I've heard too, right? Where you brown on the outside, white on the inside.
Yeah.
Tiffany Jones says code switch. I don't know what she means by that.
That's what they call it.
That's
code
what
switch.
it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially in corporate America.
Definitely in corporate America.
You hear somebody say code switch, and everybody's like, "Oh, hey, how?" And everybody will sit up. And
that's very true.
Yes.
That's very true.
Yes.
Yeah, when I used to work at Little Caesars Pizza when I was in high school, we used to say check 5, and that meant a fine girl was at the front of the restaurant. So we would say check 5, check 5.
They don't have nothing to do right now.
What that got to do with acting black and talking white?
Because that's acting black. Even though our white coworker was in on it too. Marita says, I used to talk to a person on the phone. Then when they come into the office, would ask for Miss Oliver. You should see their face.
Oh my gosh!
Yep.
And have y'all ever heard somebody say, and it shouldn't be offensive, but sometimes it's offensive. You're like, when they say, "Oh my God, you speak so well."
Yes, you're so well spoken.
Yeah. So so why we were going to go there? Well, first of all, before we go there, I want y'all to talk about that a little bit more. But before we go there, Marita said I used to have to call her from time to time for business purposes, right? Because she worked at a center that basically did insurance licensing. I was a claims manager at the time, so I would have to send workers to go get licensed and stuff like that. So from time to time, I'd have to call her. And hell, she was my auntie, and I would have to ask, is Miss Oliver there? This Marita? No. I know who that is. So she ain't lying about that. But okay, so talk about that a little bit. What is talk about, let's start with you, Lily. How does it make you feel when somebody says, oh, you speak so well, or you talk so well, you talk so good?
I think sometimes it can be taken offensively because sometimes it's like almost I'm surprised, like, oh my gosh, you spoke so well in that meeting today, or I didn't, you had some great points and you were very assertive with your points, but you want to say that I was, you want to say, oh yeah, you wasn't taking nothing, but they like to cover it up and mask it as calling it assertive in corporate world, but it can be super offensive when people say that because I'm like, well, I'm sitting in the same room you sitting in. We in the same position. Why can't I speak as well as you speak?
Right. Yeah.
So that's kind of the feel that I get from it.
Mika, does it offend you when you hear, you're very well spoken?
It's not it's offensive is the wrong word. I can't think of the word that I want to use, but I guess it's surprising to me because I want to ask, so how did you expect me to speak? What did you expect? Because and then like when they see me,
shit sound offended to me. Go ahead.
Like, what did you expect for me to say, and how did you expect me to come to the room? Was I supposed to be unprepared? Was I supposed to use slang? Was I supposed to use ebonics when I was speaking? Like, what did you expect for me to say? Because I've never walked up to somebody and say, "Oh my gosh, you're so well spoken." I've said, "I loved your presentation," or
"Great job."
The information that I received was needed, or that was a great job you did. But I never said, "Oh my God, I didn't expect you to be so well spoken." So I don't know if that is common. Like, it happens too much. Like, where y'all getting this from?
Right. And Charlotte says, wow, I'm learning a lot already. Thank you, Charlotte. Well, for me, what I've noticed is that, let's just say in the last decade or so, I don't hear that as much, like, wow, you're very well spoken or whatever. Now, you can tell that because there's a change in their eyes, and their demeanor, and their, you can tell when they look surprised, and I can't tell you, it is countless numbers of times where I've spoken over the phone to somebody as, like, let's say, for instance, one of our customers is calling and saying, hey, I got an issue with whatever. Well, one of my job duties, as the, part owner of the business, is I'm going to go check it out. I'm going to go say, okay, well, let me go take a look, we'll see what happens or whatever. And so when I come to the door, they looking funny, and they're like, I thought I spoke with an Ivan. Yes, ma'am, I'm Ivan. Here's my business. Oh, okay. Hey, Ivan, come on in. Whatever, right? So they tell me the issue and stuff like that. And what's even funnier, because again, and I've had a technician in here, and he know how I operate. So this joker would not move from this conversation. He's like, this is going to be good. So we're sitting there, and the customer, she's being completely unreasonable. This is Karen 5.0 unreasonable, right? Super, super unreasonable, right? And so we, she's disagreeing with whatever is going on and all this other kind of stuff. So I know I'm going to make a decision. We're going to pull our equipment, and it's like, okay, we're going to walk away from this project. You don't owe us anything. We're done, whatever. And so basically, as I'm hearing her out, I basically say, okay, well, it looks like we're at an impasse. So we're just going to pull our equipment. You can get somebody else to do the project. We're going to move on, because we don't, we're not getting anywhere, basically. And she goes, no, I want to talk to somebody who can make that decision. And look here, when I say I heard my technician that was there with me, when this joker, he almost like came behind my back and put his hand on my back.
I got it. It is.
And I'm like, you're speaking with him, ma'am. I can make that decision, And so I just looked at him. I said, pull the stuff, But yeah, they were not ready. Too often you come to the door, they eyes tell you, that's who this is,
Yeah.
We got Linda in the house.
Hey.
We got Bree Max. She goes, recently I had to call my white coworker. She said, Brescia, why do you sound like a white girl? I just cracked up laughing. She don't know. She from the eastern part of East Texas, where she was from the part of East Texas where when Walmart was only in small towns, she had a Walmart in that town. Yeah, sure did. And a Dairy Queen. So that let you know how small that town was. Atlanta, Texas. Agree, Doc, that's acting black. Back a little later. Raider Cat said, sorry, what acknowledging a fine woman is always relevant. But I said check 5. Yes, sir. Check 5. All right, Matt Rowe, one of my former co-workers, good dude here. I had a black employee tell me I talk white, and then I told her, no, I talk right. I heard that.
Come on, no,
That's
right?
how Matt get at.
Yeah.
And Matt, and let me put it like this: if you know Matt Rowe sometimes, because I was a manager, so I had to be a little more careful at how I say it when I say it. Matt Rowe just said what he had to say. You know.
Come on now.
See, Brian says no one has ever said that to me. Should I be offended? I told you, Charlotte is the best speaking person on the Bill for this network.
Oh my God.
Let's see. Grace says, my poor Layla had a hard time in high school because of how she speaks. She would say, but my mama is African, LOL, trying to defend herself.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed that, you know, like even Kay, I bet Kay gonna get it, right? You know, you know, so, you know, Yana, I believe, you know, talk, you know.
Chastity
proper,
got it growing up.
talk proper, you know. So our kids just speak proper. And in fact, one of the, as I was researching, one of the people said my mom was an educator, and so she wasn't having us talk every time I spoke. If I said something, if I used a double negative, if I you know said whatever she said, she goes, I would get corrected. So it became a habit. It is just who I am. You know, I got corrected.
And that's, I think, because even me and Alicia's we just said fool. Even Alicia and I sitting around talking to the kids, and we could just be sitting in the living room. We'll say, okay, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Exactly. We will correct that in the moment.
I'm sorry.
We do that all the time. We'll say that again.
Yeah. Tiffany Jones says, I'll hit a code switch in a millisecond.
I'm telling you.
The black person at a loan company, I switch depending on the client.
Absolutely.
Because they receive you in a different way.
Yeah.
Hit that code switch.
That's
knowing your audience, though, for real.
Yeah, now we knew what you meant. You should be offended. We answered the question. Cousin Gail says, I find it offensive when they say how well you articulate your message when they don't say that about my white coworker.
Exactly. And I think that's exactly, you hit it right there. It's not, I wouldn't be offended if it was said to my white counterpart.
And they don't
know what I mean?
They don't say, hey, girl, you spoke so well today.
Yeah, exactly. Says, I hate that. I like, were you expecting me to sound ghetto?
Right.
And Alicia, Weta says, Alicia Mick, I don't see it as being negative.
Right.
Is she talking about the
whole looking at it being offensive? Yeah. Like saying you're well spoken, but I think Diane kind of hit that point.
Yeah. Especially, when you don't say that to,
Right. If you said that to my white counterpart that presented with me, I wouldn't feel away.
And then Golden says it doesn't happen too much. And again, I've found that over the last decade, it is reduced in its frequency. Matt Rose says, depending on the context. Golden says, yep, they were expecting to see a white man because you spoke correctly. And Charlotte says, yes, teachers are grammar elite. And I intentionally say this comment to the very last. I wish I could put the way end of the show. Because every time he want to come in at the 25-minute mark saying, what did I miss?
And that's okay, because I showed him my favorite finger on Sunday when I saw him. Don't worry about it.
You don't have to worry about your job, Petty. You talk white, you act white, none of that. Don't worry about it. You can probably miss this episode. Okay? This ain't got nothing to do with you.
You're okay on this one, Paul.
All right. Lily, I think we can go ahead and jump into your segment if you're ready.
Let's go.
It's time for
The Streets of Talking.
what are the
streets are talking about how she looks a damn fool. Stop doing that.
What is I know somebody in our audience knows what that involuntary 72-hour psych code is. What's the code for that so we can call? We know the switch code. We need the psych code so we can call some people.
Because she needs help.
And we couldn't tell that joke. I want to go ahead. I want to say something.
All right.
Keep on, Lord.
All right. So, Lord, the last 24 hours, Lord. I don't think I even had other stories lined up, but this story came in and trumped everything. So I know you guys saw it. The baby and Danny Lee. Whole situation of what happened this overnight Sunday, right? So
the baby and who?
Danny Lee.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his baby mama of his youngest child. So
that's
over
the baby mama. Okay.
Yeah, the baby mama.
Baby mama.
Right.
The baby.
So what ended up happening was supposedly, allegedly, he came in 3:00 in the morning. She feeding the baby. He told her, "Y'all gotta go. You and the baby got to go." So this whole altercation ensued after that. So they were going back and forth, all this good stuff. He starts going live and said, "Y'all look at her. She won't leave my house. I'm trying to put her in my house. She been here the past 3 months. Your time is up. You gotta go." So basically just embarrassing her because she's sitting in the bed. She got her hair wrapped up in her little bun, feeding the baby. And she has yet to show her baby, but this is how he presents the baby to the world. She hadn't been showing the baby yet, the baby's face or anything yet, because I guess she was going to come out with it in her own time. But this is how he presents the baby to the world. So it doesn't stop there. He supposedly after that, the police is called. Now it's coming out. Reports are saying that she has been charged with simple assault because she was putting her hands on him. And this is supposedly why he started recording. But he initially came in recording before this all happened, the way it seems on the timeline. So he's recording her the next day. He has his manager standing there. And I'm like, who are his people like letting him do this? Because who do you have in your corner?
Yes,
you look,
yes, ma'am.
Yes, you look like a clown. So he has his manager, his brother's in the background recording, and she's like, "You are a troll." Like she's going off on him. He was like, "You still at my house? I'm about to call them people to tell them to get you and all this kind of stuff." So the police supposedly came back, but he's just kind of been making a fool of her. And then basically in the video, he called her the side B and said that was all she has ever been. So she takes it upon herself to go through her timeline and she starts posting all this stuff on her story, her Instagram, just kind of saying, "Oh, I'm your side piece, but you were doing X, Y, and Z for me." So posting pictures of them booed up, him rubbing her stomach while she was pregnant, them kissing, hugging, all this kind of stuff. So people have started the whole debate of, if a dude is giving you that much attention, does that really mean you his girl, or does that have to be said?
Wow.
Mika, what do you guys say? Because you raised both hands.
Number one, he never said that girl was his girlfriend or wanted to wife her up or anything. That's number one. To us, he might have said that behind closed doors in the bedroom while he was getting it in. I'm sure that's possible. Number two, for his birthday, she got him a car, and he got her that little $5.99 cake from Kroger. Number three, if a dude really love you, he's not gonna be recording you on tape while he puts you out. You got one time to call me out my name and tell me get out your house. Cause I'm out. Like, homegirl, why you sitting around? She was just sitting around in the video like, I can't believe you recording me. You be recording my behind because I be walking out with my child and then I physically go to them people on you because I need them to know how you acting. But she can't be tripping because she said he acted crazy with his other baby mamas. You know, sometimes we got, as women, we want to say, I'm gonna change.
I'm gonna be different. Yep.
I'm gonna change him. He gonna change for me. No, girl. He ain't.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I'm like, let's be honest. You went into the relationship when he was messing with his baby's mother. So you came in the same way he's doing you. Now he's deciding at different points, I want to mess with my baby mama. I want to mess with you. I want to mess with these other females. You have to kind of be okay with the situation that you're in. You put yourself in that situation. I think the first time they broke up, she wasn't pregnant. That should have been her sign to run.
No, girl.
But she went back and she got pregnant. And he, of course, I'm sure he's feeding her all these different lines behind the closed doors when it's just them, of course, to get what he wants. But I think we as women have to be careful on assuming that you are going to come in and change somebody. You can never change a dude.
John, get ready. I'm going to need you, John. Get ready.
Or when you say, all right, Ted, I'll punch you and Johnny in the mouth. But, or if you saying because you sleeping with a dude or you hanging out with him all the time, that guys do not equate that with a relationship.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
A lot of times females say, I'm with him. No, girl. Like I say, he just banged me your back.
Yeah, but one thing I did not like is how females are laughing at her.
It's not funny because they don't been there too.
Because I was about to say the same females that I saw laughing at her, I know also situations that happened outside of Facebook. So let's not laugh at somebody's pain when you were just there.
Yeah.
I just hope the girl removes herself now from the situation. Because you would never have to put me out of your household. Yeah. The moment you called me out my name and told me to leave, you would never see me again.
Where my baby at?
Let me just say this. This is, I wasn't sure how interested I was going to be in this story because I didn't know what Danny Lee looked like, but I looked up her picture.
She's beautiful
while you were talking, so I'm interested in the story now. And what I want to do is I want to, because this is just sad to me, and I want to reach out to Danny Lee. If you need
we're not about to even entertain your time.
Okay, to stay for a few weeks until you get up on your feet.
Stop it, dummy.
Answer the question and be right.
Now, I mean, obviously, when you go public like that, that's wrong. So for me, obviously, I'm old enough, at 50 years, I done had to end relationships, right? And sometimes I've had to end relationships to where they didn't want to end them, and so, it was contentious sometimes, and sometimes getting people to leave your property can be a challenge, but I obviously would never go live with it, or, you don't want to put your business out in the street, you may have to call them people to help you so you stay out of trouble. But, obviously, there was a lot of ways he could have did this, he could have, if I'm, but again, to try to expect him, remember, we've heard this a lot. We've been seeing this a lot on social media, right? Quit expecting you out of others, right?
Yeah.
So me, I'm gonna put some money in your pocket and say, hey, this is gonna take care of your, next 6 months rent over there, but you got to go over there, or whatever. Let's see. Golden says, all I know is that if a man tell me to exit his crib, he don't have to say it twice. I'm out and I won't return. You cannot stay where you are not wanted.
Peace. Right. That's right.
And Golden, this is directly to you. John said, well, don't make me put you out. What you got to say to that? And Jenny Pooh, what's up, Jennifer? She says she overlooked the red flags, watched the way he treat other women.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
A man can change, but what makes you think you're gonna be that one? Especially if he's showing you some red flags. Nah, sis, get out of there.
Yeah, and then his
so John, I want you to answer that question. They said, why do women think they can be the one? John, me and you got the answer to this question.
Oh my God.
I need you to answer.
Leave John out of it.
Why do women think they can change men? Tell us that. A-Trap said, that's why I refuse to date celebrities. No, before you even ask, Holly Berry. Nia Long and Regina Hall, before you ask, no. Well, y'all can call me because I got 3 extra bedrooms over here. Golden says, I know women are not going to like this, but if you're not wifey or girlfriend and you're asked to leave, get your shit. Period.
And that's not Golden. I don't think that's anything bad because if you're not the wife and you can't fight for, that space, get out and go.
I think
if you're a baby mama that just happens to be there.
Yeah.
She even said she didn't live there. So
But-
I'm about to go.
But the thing is, I think that she thought, hey, I had this baby. He's had me over here with this baby for the past 3 months.
Look up some of the pictures. I've been looking up the pictures. The way she was sitting there feeding that baby in that little wife beater tank top, she was comfortable.
That's what I said. And that's what I said. That girl was living there. You gave her the idea that it was cool for you to be here.
Yeah, she had been staying there for a minute.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. The way she had on that little tank top, if I'd have walked in mad, I would have got unmad real quick. You got anything you need from the show?
I'm about to get this card together. You got something you need?
You are an idiot.
That says women need to learn their worth.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now it's being said that his first baby mama is pregnant again. And people are saying, is he the daddy or not? I said he got too much going on, but he goes back and forth with them. So I'm like, girl, remove yourself.
It looked like a dude.
He looked like the baby.
John say first he gonna need y'all to calm all the way down.
Keep on, John.
Then he gonna tell you.
You know what? Say, put him out. We could. This is our house, John. You get it.
Let's see. Ray Care says one of the biggest mistakes people make, both men and women, thinking they're good enough to change a person is what they are. Someone a person is what they are. Brian says, "Oh yeah." Charlotte says this is a sad example of acting like a wife before a real commitment is made.
Exactly. You can't put yourself in that situation. That's how he got you.
And she goes, right, Kev, he has always been an asshole. He denied that he is a clown, but Golden is on it.
And Golden, come on, keep it going, baby. I like it. I like it.
I made the mistake of thinking I was in a relationship with someone and learn to have that conversation without assuming.
But I think we've all, not everybody, but a lot of people have been in that situation.
Yeah, you've learned.
Yeah.
He with me.
Golden says, why do women think that they have that life-changing coochie? No, you can't change anyone.
No, ma'am.
Let me see how I can put this. Life-changing coochie. Well, Golden, my life has been changed by the Lord, and I'm going to leave it like that. A-Trap said, I'm going to be a rapper, adult.
Yes, please.
Let's see. Taylor said she thought that the baby was going to lock him down and get that ring.
Yeah.
Babies do not change men.
Stop having these babies and thinking a dude gonna change.
Derek, the thought engineer. Come on, baby.
We not okay, Derek. Then we say this was all on him. We've been tearing her ass up too.
we told her to get her goofy looking stuff out of there.
His boy gonna come crying with him, saying hello.
We did not put it all on him. We didn't put it all on him. We said that she should have known better and did better because you went into the situation when he was already dealing with his other baby mama. You got entangled with that, got pregnant, and you started being part of the rotations. You should have dipped out when you had the opportunity.
So Charlotte says poor dog had to wipe his forehead before responding. I'm gonna tell you why, I'm gonna tell you why I had to do this. Because when I read this comment, it's 3 words in there that messed my head up, and I started some little beads of sweat started coming right there. So that's why I had to wipe my forehead. All right, we're gonna get back into the topic. That was a good discussion on the streets are talking. I see John says that's what they do. John was subdued today. He didn't really. He let Golden out talk him on this. John was to represent us
because he needed to be quiet today.
Yeah. Go sit down.
All right. So back to the topic at hand, and that is this acting black and talking white. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play one of the videos that inspired me for this particular topic.
Do not listen, man. This is gonna be the last video I make in regards to these dumbass comments being left on this video that everybody feels so opinionated about. One thing for sure, 2 things for certain. I'm well aware that I'm white. I'm actually German and Irish, if you want to be specific. Second off, I'm from south side of Atlanta. How I talk is how I talk. None of that's gonna change, not never. You understand? Everybody I fuck with talks like me. That's just what it is. You don't like it, keep it pushing. Third of all, why is there so many men that just out here hating on females? Like, that shit make you look real goofy, my boy. Like, you look real goofy. I just want you to know that. Nothing you can say in my comments is gonna make me change a motherfucking thing about myself. Let's just be very clear, okay? Fourth of all, baby, if you don't like it, don't follow. It's just that simple. Why upset yourself fucking with somebody that's never gonna change themselves? Goofball.
You look real goofy.
So what do you think about that, Mika?
Come back to me.
Huh?
Come back to me a second.
Lily.
What? I just think.
What you think about this? What she had to say?
You know what? I saw that video on TikTok and I looked at several of her videos. I don't think the girl putting on. I think that this is just how that girl is. Like, I think you can tell when somebody is genuinely trying to be a culture vulture. And I don't think that's her. I think that she's just.
You write that down. Who said they learned something? Was it Charlotte Wilson?
Miss Charlotte.
I don't think she's being a culture vulture. I think that, like she said, she grew up in Atlanta, and that's the people she's been around. So,
she's from the Oak Cliff in France and in Germany. Yeah.
I mean, I'm with Alicia. I think she's not putting on, but
the C word, coochie. Okay.
But I don't know many people from the South Side of anywhere that talk like that.
What you mean?
Like her?
Yeah.
What you talking about?
Meaning,
the South Side of everywhere. I don't know anybody from the South Side anywhere that
go
don't
to the
talk
South
that
Side of Atlanta, like she said. Like, quit saying I talk like that because I'm from here. Say I talk like that just because I talk like that.
Well, that may be why, because that's
maybe because the people she's around.
Yeah, but she's trying to say that's where I was raised.
Her environment.
But if you look at her environment,
it's the same reason why some of us speak with good grammar, right? You know, we talked about, you know, our family members, the K's and the Chasties and the whatever, because those are the environments that they were raised in. Those are the people that they were around in school, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, that behavior is just that, right? So I don't think that's an incorrect statement for her to say, you know, that's where I'm from. You know, let's see, Jennifer put it like this. She's a product of her environment. You know, so like Lily says, I don't think I'm gonna go back to the 80s and say how we used to say she ain't putting on airs. You know, she ain't fronting. You know, that's just who she is.
I don't think she's fronting, but I'm just like,
no, it ain't no G in fronting. It's fronting. It ain't no fronting. I don't think she's fronting.
Well, Mika went to Club Hill environment, so it is. So
I did too.
Fronting. They would tell you fronting. See, that's why you got that one wrong on the test. It's fronting.
Charlotte says I have a Latinx friend. Latinx. See, sometimes we got to be careful of these comments because sometimes people telling it on themselves when they're not trying to.
Business.
I have a Latinx friend who talks like that because that's how she grew up. But again, she switches code when she's in her classroom. Okay. John says she white. They got the job. She don't need to change.
Oh, wow. And that could be one of that girl's thing. Like when she's just talking to people on TikTok or amongst her friends, she just talks like them. But I'm sure if she has to clean it up in some kind of way, she will. But she'll still have that twang to her.
Brian says this is why people say I'm projectic. He said projectish, maybe. Charlotte says she's nice to even address it. I would have ignored the critics and just kept being myself.
Yeah.
Like if that's the way you talk, why are you worried about what they're saying?
But if you
they keep coming out of it.
But I think that's the thing, though. On a lot of her videos, they're like, oh, here she go, thinking she black again, or making those comments. So I think it's
thinking in those terms. She's thinking about the subject she's talking about.
Do you like her?
No. Well, first of all, how should I say this? I bet not.
You bet not.
No, I don't. That's not my style. But I as a person, we can be friends. But in all honesty, I actually reached out to her to try to get her on the show because I think she can actually help some folks. And the folks I think she can help is some white people. If you want to know the truth, to know that, hey, I'm not trying to do this. This is just who I am.
Yeah, I think that's just who that girl is. Like, they be cutting her. They be cutting her up in those comments and always coming at her that she's trying to be black.
Yeah, how different is that than, okay, I was in Boston recently, right? How different is that than me to be around some folks who talk like Boston people talk? You can pick them out of a crowd, right? If they're talking, from Southie, and in fact, there are some states like Louisiana, West Virginia, Arkansas, Mississippi, there are some states to where when you get in the woods of them states and stuff like that, their dialect, even South Carolina. I used to work with a guy from there. He's like, man, some people in South Carolina where he's from, I can't understand what they're saying. Because that's who they've been growing up around, right? Why do we tell kids, why do young kids, why do we always say, you need to get that baby around some other people? You need to get that baby, because they're not learning how to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're slow in their development. And typically it's because they're not around people who they need to hear conversing, or vice versa. Okay. It's a reason why my nephew, let me do something different right quick. Let me put the spotlight on me. It's a reason why my nephew takes summer sausage and crackers at 5 years old to school for lunch every day. You know why? Because he was raised by my mama during the day for babies.
But you're not going to put my baby business out there.
I didn't say which nephew.
You only got one nephew that's 5.
Yeah.
But you get my point though, right? We're influenced by what we're influenced by. That ain't his fault. That he taking summer sausage to school, and that's his choice. They ask him. They're not forcing it. They want to take
charcuterie boards.
Huh?
He's taking charcuterie boards.
Okay, I ain't hear nothing about no cheese.
Little girl, he don't eat summer cheese.
Yeah, that's what he said. Hello.
Like summer sausage, but not summer cheese. All right, so Charlotte says Latin X is PC. Okay, it's politically correct. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, Derek says your environment and what you're exposed to has a huge influence on you. An American woman has a little kid that speaks British because they watch Coco Melon all the time.
Yes.
Gotcha. Fantastic point.
Yep, and that's right.
What you see.
Too. Is that why?
And you know what? We had this conversation on Sunday. Ian used to watch Peppa Pig all the time, and
yes,
and he used to really be heavy with that accent.
Oh, yeah.
So he used to watch that all the time.
And I used to watch Dumb and Dumber, so I used to always say, "Good day, mate."
Bye and move on.
Put another shrimp on the barbie. John Lewis says she got a black guy, so she had to be hood. You do not know that.
I bet you do.
And chances are,
how y'all know she ain't got a black girl?
There you go.
How you know she ain't got a black girl?
We done all seen the post on social media and the memes and stuff to say you can tell the white girl date black guys by their hairstyle.
Right here. It's that swoop. It's that swoop and that short haircut. Right on one side, the asymmetrical bob.
Look here. I'm going to put this comment on here next. In the comments of this, next viewer did not represent the views of Queen3 and King or BS3 Radio. Geechee.
What?
Now, the only time I've heard Geechee is Geechee Dan from Black exploitation movies back in the day. So I don't even know what that means no more. Geechee. Okay, so we got someone out of Atlanta. Let's see.
Hey, girl.
This is McCants, Amy from Raising a Young YBK. So if you are a mom here, you got a young kid, you're raising a kid, you need to be on this podcast on BS3 TV. Amy McCants, Raising a YBK, a Young Black King. Fantastic show, fantastic conversation. She says, I was told I spoke white my whole childhood, and it didn't help my name was Amy. Kids used to go in. I think you speak how you're spoken to.
That's right.
Okay, fair enough. All right, my boy here, Richard, and this is one of my coworkers, Richard Grant, Louisiana. Yeah, and he's from Louisiana. You want to talk about a dude? Every week he come to me the day after the show with the best comments about the topics. And the man, put them on there. Say what you You should have said that on the show. He's like, I'm just watching. Maybe him and Angela be watching, eating dinner and stuff like that. Like we the Cosby Show or something like that.
I love it.
Cosby us.
So yeah,
I
Richard
love
is out
it.
of Louisiana, and it shows,
Louisiana.
And by the way,
Louisiana.
I need to have Richard on to tell. I accidentally scared him the other day at the warehouse, and Alicia could hear it inside the office screen.
See, you ain't right.
Okay, so Weta says, I think it's so rude when kids poke fun at their parent if he or she uses incorrect grammar. Calling that person out around others, everyone laughing. I don't see nothing funny at all. That is embarrassing to that person, but they laugh it out to hide the embarrassment. As for me, they get my middle finger from both hands. That show is country.
Be quiet, John.
Ooh. I'm finna put this. They don't know that I got a way to put these private chats on here, so I'm finna put the private chats up here so everybody can see them right quick. Let's see. Brian said, "Hello, I would take that to lunch. I'm jealous. I need to move to Texas as some Earl camera. Yeah, right.
Yep.
Let's see.
Ever who talk like that, just talk like that.
That's how the folks from South Carolina speak. Those are the people you can't understand. How about the Little Rascals? That's right. Even the white kids on the Little Rascals.
Yeah.
They talk. We Louisiana people, et cetera, et cetera. It's just, it's just the way it is. Let's see. Golden Brook says, "Oh, he got some sausage with damn. Where's my lunch money? I want to trade."
I'm telling you, he did. That's his thing.
All right. So one little last, we need to give the final thoughts, but I just thought it was interesting that they did a study back in 2004. Sonia Peterson Lewis and Lisa Bratton. That's another thing we didn't get into, how some names sound black or white, and one of the first things I know when Alicia said Blake's name was Blake Files, I said resume ready, baby.
Yeah,
I knew he could get this corporate job. So Bonquisha, sometime if you named your daughter Bonquisha and you on here in the viewers, let us know what their name is, because that's not resume ready.
No, that's when you use your first initial and last name.
All right, so Sonia Peterson Lewis and Lisa Bratton, they actually spoke with the youth and asked them their opinions on it, right? So they examined how Black youth view the phrase acting Black. And in most cases, the Black kids saw they figured it was a negative association with the term acting Black. And they said that there were 5 different ways that acting Black basically was categorized, right? One of them was academic. Okay, so that's through your schooling and stuff like that. Acting Black or acting white, was academic. Second category was stylistic, right? We done all saw those people. We hadn't touched on that today, but sometimes the way you dress can determine, right? Steve Urkel, did he dress Black or did he dress white? If you, you know what I'm saying, if you were trying to categorize them. So stylistically, behavioral, right? And how they walk, how they, maybe they may sway a little bit or, whatever, right? Their disposition, how they carry themselves, and then impressionistic, the impression you get from them. But they considered that acting white, conversely, meant getting good grades and talking right. And these come from young Black kids that they had interviewed.
Yeah.
So, so one of the final questions that I'll ask you is that technically, and I'll start with you, Mika, is it even possible to act Black, talk white, or act white? Is it even possible?
I don't think it depends on the region of the country, I would say. Because when you said get good grades and talking, that's when I was younger, that's what I equated it with. Because when I was younger, it was the same. It was me and my friends. It was the same Black girls in class with the huge amount of white.
Bye, John. Go to bed. Go to bed.
Go to bed.
Hey, Trap co-signing with it.
It was us with 5 Black girls with the 25 people in the class that were white. And of course, we got good grades. We spoke well, and we kind of
Don't let them get you, Mika.
I'm a
don't welcome that energy. Establish your energy.
I'm a cuss. But yeah, we equated that to acting black and talking white, because in those classes, that's what you kind of learned, and that's how you got by with our white counterparts. So I don't know if there's such thing as acting black or acting white, but I think it depends on the region. Because like you said, you go to Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, a couple of those states. What is talking white? What is talking? But some black and white people talk the same. Some black and white people act the same.
Right, which leads me to the question: is it technically even possible?
It's not.
To act black, act white, or talk black? Is that even possible, Lily?
I don't know, because I kind of see it from this perspective. Like when you're growing up, and you know, certain kids, especially when they get to like middle school and things like that, they're trying to find themselves. So I would be in situations where maybe it's a white girl trying to hang with the black people, and she starts to try to become one of them black girls. And we're like, girl, just be yourself. You don't have to do that. So I think in some situations you can, or especially with what I've seen, you can try to act a certain way. But I think a lot of the times what we're talking about, especially being in corporate America versus being with our family and stuff, that's no one's trying to act white or act black or whatever the case may be. We just know our audience and are adjusting, right? The code switch. You have to in those situations.
So here's the deal for me. So there's two things. So technically, it's not possible for a person to act black, act white, or talk black, right? Because the way we act and the way we talk is not color based, right? Yeah. It's based on other factors, not your color, right? So you can't technically act white, act black, talk white, right? So the difference is that the reason why we say these things or why those terms are accepted is because it lets you understand what somebody is trying to say, right? You know, it is a description that everybody understands, which is the reason why it is accepted, but it is not technically possible. And let's see if Charlotte put it better than I did. She goes, I don't think speaking or dressing in a particular way is racial. I agree with you. And a dialect being a reflection of your environment, dressing can be the same.
Yep.
Exactly. People out of New York versus people out of Philly, there's a distinct difference in the way that they dress. And a lot of times they just show up dressing. You can tell if you told one of them from Philly, one of them from New York. And if you know, you'll know, okay, that's the New York dude right there. Because that's what's going to do. In fact, Amy probably could comment on that. She can tell the difference between somebody from Philly, somebody from Boston, somebody from New York based on how they dress.
Or somebody from the North or somebody from the South.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Becky is not hanging with the sisters. In fact, speaking of that, for whatever reason, when I used to go to Indianapolis more frequently, whenever I was out and about, in fact, Shay even used to say, how do you know these places? You know more places here than I do. Because when I went, I would get out and about, right? Meet new people. And I would get asked all the time, you're not from here, before I even spoke a word. And I would be like, why do you say that? You know? And they would say, you know, because you don't dress like that. You don't carry yourself like Indianapolis dudes do, you know, and stuff like that. And I'd be like, okay, I don't know what that is, but they would tell me that all the time. Weta says the comedian Gary Owens always get teased for acting black. He married to a sister. Derek says phrases like that perpetuate underachievement in the black community because we feel the pressure to conform to a stereotype that we are less than. That's correct. That's a stereotype.
Yep. And I know we didn't get here, but a lot of people, and I know we can say this for later, but our white and Hispanic counterparts, you know, they code switch too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
When they speaking to us, hey girl, but you didn't go to Susie and say, what's up, girl?
Yeah.
Now don't do that.
Amy says show is, and she gonna speak on it. I absolutely can. Talking about telling the difference between those. Golden says when I was coming up in the 70s, I had an aunt named Theodora. God, dog. That would correct me. All right, Theodora. Tell Theodora we say what's up. Okay, John says because your pants wasn't at your knees. Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow. Amy says, I think that goes back to Mika's comment that it's a regional thing. Where you were raised influences how you act tremendously. Why she got to be Susie. All right, so final thoughts. Since Lily ain't got it together, Mika, go ahead and give your final thoughts first.
I don't know why she's laughing.
I'm laughing at John too because he called that. You didn't say that to Susie. Why she gotta be Susie?
I mean, but you don't say, "What's up with it, girl?" And I'm like, that's not how you talk when you were presenting to us. And now you over here. You don't have to do that. But I say, just be you. You know, that I think Teg said it. I don't think it's anything. I don't think it's acting black or acting white or talking black or talking white. I think you're influenced by your environment.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have to be the best you. And whether that, you know, people call that acting this race or acting that race, you have to be you, period. And sometimes, you know, some people will have something to say. But hey, if you're not hurting them, harming them, do what you need to do in the environment that you're in.
Lily, final thought?
Yeah, I think the same thing. Just be the person that you are. But I also know that it's what we have to also know how to act in certain environments. I think that's where we get ourselves in trouble. Just knowing your audience, knowing how to act.
I like Theodora.
Yeah, it is just important to be who you are. I think the girl in the video, I think she sums it up like, this is just who I am. And people are going to always have something to say. Like I said, growing up, I used to get it all the time that I talked white. But I kept talking white in a classroom, and them grades looked white too because I saw John I saw John said Mika had black grades.
And no, I didn't because they had scholarship written out, you know.
So just be who you are. That's it.
Right on. And Rita said, awesome podcast, family. Good night. Thank you, Annie, for your participation.
Thank you.
Charlotte says, thank you so much for another great show. I learned and laughed a lot as always. Thank you, Charlotte.
Awesome. Thank you, Charlotte.
Golden says, right, because I have a white associate and she swears she's black. She uses slang all the time. And I tell her all black don't sound like that.
And you have to eventually say, and you have to eventually say, girl, we don't all talk like that. Stop doing that.
And A-Trap is still on Theodora. Mika, no, you wouldn't. She's the kind of person that you would.
Ooh, dang. I like her name.
Chicago. Amy says, y'all have amazing shows. This was a great combo. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
Golden says, yeah, that name is wild. I like that name. Says, another awesome show. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Trishelle.
Thank you, Shayla.
And for me, you know, my final thoughts on it are as follows. For anyone to genuinely believe that it is possible to act black, talk white, act white, means that they have a very narrow idea of what it means to be black and accept certain stereotypes to blackness that do not allow for the existence of three-dimensional black people, and for that matter, people of any race. I am always black, whether I'm fulfilling other people's negative stereotypes about blackness. This is true for all people from any marginalized group. There is no such thing as acting black. People are people. As always, since Nicole isn't here to tell you, we really appreciate our viewers. I say that every week. So since she's not here to say that every week, let me say that every week. And hopefully her contract dispute will be over soon. And join us next week. Next week's episode will be funny holiday stories. If you think we laugh on regular serious episodes, just wait. A matter of fact, I might take me 1 or 2 hits before I get on next week.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be real funny. But we're going to tell some funny holiday stories, mostly surrounding our family. And if you know our family, It's going to be some funny stuff. So tune in next week. Again, as always, we appreciate you guys for being here, and we will hopefully see you next week on another episode of Queen 3.
Bye. Are we smiling or what are we doing?
The Queen Bee has arrived.
You know. We'll show out then. So I'm gonna start with both of y'all's hands right here.
Look for my thumb.
Look for your thumb.
Like if